on the subcontinent every minute. Right across southern Asia, rivers have become swollen with monsoon rains. Along the Mekong, it's what all of life has been waiting for. The flow of the mother river has increased 400%, and now her influence is colossal. She has created a whole new habitat, a flooded forest where fish swim. Now is the time for them to feed and grow fat. But it's never safe to loiter. The soft-shelled turtle can strike faster than a cobra. Downstream, the monsoon is responsible for an extraordinary phenomenon. The Mekong is met by the river Sab, which flows from a large lake. The river's natural flow is from west to east, into the Mekong. But the Mekong becomes so swollen with monsoon rain that it pushes water uphill, back up the Sap River. The river's flow has reversed, taking with it huge numbers of fish. They head for the lake called Tonle Sap, which balloons to 8 times its former size. A vast inland sea that swallows up around 1/10 of Cambodia. Tom's world is now transformed. His village can now only be reached by boat. Nurses paddle to their patients, and traders punt their wares from door to door. There is no longer any dry land to grow vegetables. And they keep their pigs in floating sties. But they can trade fish and shrimp from the lake for other goods. So Tom and his dad go fishing every day. The lake is vast and full of millions of fish. They swam in from the Mekong and are now in fish paradise. In these warm, rich waters, young fish rapidly grow to maturity. And the drowned trees offer much-needed protection from the most skillful of predators. Cormorants have flown in from the Mekong, joining resident colonies of oriental darter, known also as snakebirds, on account of their necks. This bird is a beautifully adapted fish hunter. It has a hinge in its neck with powerful muscles that thrust its head forward like a spear. It submerges to hunt underwater. Dense bones keep its body below the surface, so it dives with barely a ripple. Fishing is a skill that has to be learned. This youngster has just left the nest to enroll in snakebird school. Other students are already training. But where are the fish? No, just a leaf. But that's okay. She is honing a vital skill. If she impales a fish, she needs to flick it off her bill and catch it head first. All the youngsters are practicing. Perseverance eventually pays off. She's well on her way to independence. Elsewhere, the monsoon floods are not always so benevolent. At the Bay of Bengal, the Indian Ocean reaches closest to the Himalayas. Monsoon rain clouds collide with the mountains, creating the wettest region on Earth. Through the middle flows the mighty Brahmaputra. And bordering the river is Kaziranga National Park. Home to giants. This youngster was born in the dry season. Even then there was water, and she has spent many days finding her feet in the deep pools. She still has much to learn. In the heat of the day, the elephants wallow amongst the floating water hyacinth. It's a delicacy, but first it has to be washed. It takes a bit of practice. And she must avoid the grumpy neighbors. Indian one-horned rhinos don't like company. Even the mud is quite a challenge for little legs. But a much graver danger is approaching. The monsoon is about to deliver a devastating blow. The rains have been exceptionally heavy this year, and the Brahmaputra has burst her banks, flooding the plains. The national park is fast disappearing. The elephants must escape. Small creatures are flushed from the undergrowth. But they have nowhere else to go. The floods show no mercy. The park is now beneath 5 meters of water, too deep even for elephants. They must reach the safety of the hills. Not even water buffalo can survive in this much water. Solid ground. But this is no place for elephants. Many animals have died making this crossing. Hog deer are nimble, but the elephants must wait. It's still a long way to the hills, and the herd is now outside the protection of the park. Thousands of people have had to leave their homes. It's a national disaster. Everywhere, people and animals are fleeing the rising waters, and when their paths cross, neither is safe. A lone bull elephant is desperate for dry land. But the villagers are afraid for their houses and their lives. He'll have to seek sanctuary elsewhere. The hills. They've all survived. For this youngster, it's been a dramatic awakening to the terrifying power of the monsoon.